My name is A. Allen, and I'm here with Mr. Kidd, John Kidd, and we're here at Can TV. We're live, and you'll be with us for the next 25 minutes. And we have a lot to say about Streetwise. I am enthused to be back in your homes, and thank you for inviting us into your homes by way of Can TV. Streetwise is a wonderful program, as me and John always say. I'm hosting, but John is a friend of mine. Not only is he a friend of mine, but I'm a fan of his group. He have a singing group, and I'm a fan of his. He's a friend of mine. He's a fellow vendor of mine, and we're here today, and we want to present some things to you about Streetwise. Okay, we're here on Can TV, and we want to talk about some things on Streetwise. This is the newest issue of Streetwise, and let me show you what it is. It's Dolly Parton. Okay, Dolly Parton. Dolly Parton is a real nice lady, and she's very famous, and everybody know about Dolly Parton. They know that she's beautiful. They know that she can sing. But if you really want to know some details about Dolly Parton, you got to read the article. It's a well put together magazine, and it's talking about Dolly Parton. And by you being a performer yourself, Mr. John Kidd, what would you have to say about Dolly Parton?
Well, what I can say about Dolly Parton, she's been around in the music business for many, many decades, singing country music.
Okay, well, listen, I don't mean to cut you off. I don't mean to cut you off because you're going to talk about Dolly Parton later with Dave Hamilton, okay?
Right.
You're going to talk about her later, but they do have something very interesting in the magazine, including Vendors Week. Okay, let me put that up there. You know, was February the 4th through the 10th was known as National Vendors Week, and Streetwise actually went around and visited some of our vendors, our fellow vendors. You know, Streetwise is a family, and these are some of our family members. I'm gonna give you like a closer look. Let's see. This is Gwen right here. This is Jose right here. This is VW right here. This is Anthony right here, and who is that? Who is that? Is that Amanda the commander?
Yeah, that's Amanda.
And then that's Judy. That's Judy. Let me see if I can get a close up of that. That's Judy Youngquist. That's JT. These are all our family members, and they out on their spot making their money. Okay, and so it's a good thing to be a part of Streetwise because, first of all, they give you something to do, something to look forward to. If you're at home, you're doing nothing, and you don't have anything to look forward to, let us help you get your wheels rolling. You can come to Streetwise orientation Tuesday and Thursday at 10 o'clock. Okay, you can grab you something to eat before you start orientation. We'll give you 15 free papers to get your wheels rolling. We'll give you an ID to get you started. And you too can be a part of the Streetwise family. You too can get out and do something, be useful in life. You too can do this. All you have to do is come to 4554 North Broadway, okay? Suite 350, and we'll get your wheels rolling at 10 o'clock Tuesday or Thursday is when orientation starts. So please keep us in mind if you're interested in doing some things in life, not just sitting home and doing nothing or not doing nothing at all. You know, let us help you get started with your life, okay? Because Streetwise is a stepping stone. Streetwise can be a stepping stone for you too. It was a stepping stone for you, right?
Yes, it was, and it still is a stepping stone because I haven't reached the top of the ladder. I might not be where I used to be, but I ain't where I used to be, but I ain't where I want to be yet. So I'm still climbing up the old ladder, you know.
That's good.
Coming to Streetwise, it has enlightened me and opened up my mind to a whole lot of other things about life, about how to interact and network with other people.
That's the key, networking.
And see, it's so sad that you can walk the streets of these big cities like Chicago, Brother Allen, and find so many poor and homeless people begging on the corners all the time. So Streetwise and brought a lot of people out of that. You know, it made entrepreneurs out of them.
Yes.
Business owners.
Yes.
And matter of fact, I'm starting up a little business of mine, but that's another page. You know,
okay, yeah.
Another story I could talk about, but
yeah.
I'm just now getting my feet wet with that. So
right.
Streetwise has been a second family to me since I been doing Streetwise for about the last 2.5 years now. and I met a lot of interesting people, not just from the United States, but all over the world. I've met people from Israel, Japan, Italy, all over. And it's very, very refreshing to be able to communicate, conversate with these people, because I might not afford to take a trip to Italy and Japan yet, but just by talking to these people, you could say I've been there.
Yes.
You know, because I ask questions about Mexico, I ask questions about a lot of places where they're from, and then they can tell me. So it's a good thing to communicate with people from all walks of life out here, all races, background, creed, or color.
Yeah, that's it. You said the key word, and I really like that word, because I have found networking is very important too. You know, networking is it's like vital to survival, okay, because we are social human beings, and we have to interact with one another in order to build up our self-esteem. And I have experienced the interaction of begging, okay? People call it panhandling, but what it actually is begging. Okay, when you begging like that, man, your self-esteem go way downhill like a roller coaster, okay? Because you really asking someone to do it for you when you can't do it for yourself, and that's what Streetwise have taught me, and I see that it's teaching you the same thing. And not only that, but you use it as a stepping stone because you have other things that you do on the side, okay? You use it as a part-time employment, but you singing, man. I love y'all singing, you know? And you're gonna be singing at our next birthday party, anniversary party, and I'm looking forward to it. You know, you're doing some great things, and thank you for coming on the show and representing Streetwise. And I'd like to ask you one thing before I leave. Would you like to give a shout out to your people or any of your customers or anything?
Yes. First of all, I'd like to give a shout out to my lovely wife, Sadell Kidd.
Okay.
Next, I would like to give out another shout out to a personal dear friend I've been knowing for a couple of years now. Her name is Sister Parnell. She's the leader of a well-known group, a gospel quartet group called Witness of Christ. And also like to give a shout out to Chicago United Quartet Organization. That's all the groups and choir members that belong to our organization. And one more shout out to all the supporters and fans at Lincoln Park. Well, I don't want to call them fans yet because I haven't reached that status yet, but when I do become well known with my music, then I can call them fans. But right now, you are my biggest supporters.
So I like to say behind that, I am a fan of one of you all's group because you all sing very well. And I like to mention this before we turn it over to Dave Hamilton. He's coming over and you all going to discuss the Dolly Parton. But Illinois Holocaust Museum purchased lives, explore slave trade from 1808 to 1865 and its lasting ramifications. Okay, and what this is talking about, they give it like a purchase lives. They're talking about the slave trade, okay? And this article comes from Nashville, and it's about the slave trade and how they sold slaves from Louisiana, and they came up north, and they was separating families, and how some of these families was trying to get back together, and they was trying to find their loved ones, just like the Holocaust. After the Holocaust, they was trying to find their loved ones. You know, they were separated. This is another good article in Streetwise, okay? And the Holocaust Museum, we did do an article, we did do a whole paper on the Holocaust Museum, you know, because it's a new museum and it's in Skokie. And if you would like to know more about the Holocaust Museum, I recommend that you find you a vendor and get this Dolly Parton Streetwise, okay? You too can find out about the Holocaust Museum and the purchase lives, okay? We in today's society, we talking about Black Lives Matter, but back then they was talking about purchasing black lives. So if you want more information on that, be sure and find you a Streetwise vendor and get you a Streetwise, and you can find out more information on that. So with all that being said, I would like to like for you and Dave Hamilton to talk a little bit more about Dolly Parton, okay? Dolly Parton, she's a very sweet lady, and this article is very good. I have a different perspective on her. So right now, I'm going to move out the way and let you and Dave talk about
Okay.
The article, Dolly Parton. And
Okay.
thank you both for coming on.
Thank you, Alan.
Hey, John.
Hey, Dave, how you doing?
I'm well. How are you?
All right.
So good to see you today.
Likewise, nice to see you also.
Well, thanks for having me on your show.
Yes.
I wanted to come on and talk about Dolly Parton because I am a big fan of Dolly's, and I always have been, as far as I can even ever remember. My parents always played her, and so when we found out that one of our sister papers in Nashville, The Contributor, had an exclusive interview with Dolly, we had to run it ourselves too, for sure.
Okay, that's right.
So, I mean, and it really makes sense for Streetwise readers because Dolly is a philanthropist.
Yeah.
She is a social justice warrior. She has a very big open heart, and she very much so wants to fight for what's right. And it even says right on the cover of the issue that she is always out there for the underdog. And I think that's I think that kind of sums up the entire article, really, because she really, really is an advocate for women's rights,
Right.
for racial equality, for LGBTQ issues. She really, really believes everybody should be who they are and should be allowed to be who they are, and I think that's one of the best things about Dolly.
Well, and that's one of the biggest things, Dave, that sticks out about Dolly is she feels everybody should be treated fairly and treated right, regardless who you are, what backgrounds you came from. And Dolly Parton has been around for many, many decades singing with country music. And she's, I'm a Christian man, you know, a strong believer in God and everything. And I know in the Bible it says, your gifts would make room to put you in front of kings and queens. So United States, we don't have kings and queens here, but we have a president here.
We have people that think they are.
Yeah, well, we have a president that runs United States. So I done seen a lot of people like Dolly Parton sing and perform before the president. You know what I'm saying? So gotta make room for your gifts, so he would put you around these type of people. And Dolly Parton, she came from a poor background in the hills. There was a red pair of shoes that she liked it so much she talked about it right now.
Right.
And that goes back from her childhood.
She actually talks about that in the article, how people, you know, her family was so poor that people would donate their leftover clothes and scraps of fabric. And she talks about these red shoes she found, and she's 72 years old now, and she just wrote a song about discovering her red shoes and like putting on her red shoes.
I once, Dave, read an article about Dolly Parton some years ago that she had so many shoes where she lived at is like 2 or 3 department stores.
Wow.
You know, she got shoes she could wear a pair of shoes for 5 years and don't put on the same pair of shoes.
Right. Well, I mean, look at Dolly Parton's life. So she starts as, you know, this country girl living in the mountains, and she really became something with her music. She had perseverance. She tried and she kept going. She had some failures along the way, but she kept going, and she knew what her dream was, to be a singer-songwriter, and she achieved it. And I think it's very similar to what Streetwise vendors go through, right? Because sometimes you're just down on your luck and you're down and out, and I think Dolly, just like our Streetwise vendors, had to have that drive and that perseverance and that motivation to become something better than what she started out as.
And see, Dave, Dolly Parton, like a lot of many other great people, recognize her gift at a young age.
Yeah.
And when you have a gift is something that you do extraordinary well, better than others, but showing little effort. You know, just like you could take the basketball player Michael Jordan and compare him to the average guy out here, and he can be feeling real bad, sick with pneumonia, and still win the game.
Probably.
You know, because that's his gift.
Yeah.
So singing, singing and songwriting was some of Dolly's gifts that God gave her. And also, she got other gifts like being kind and very compassionate
Yeah.
with people. She's a people person.
Yeah.
And I kind of, I have those same gifts myself because I love talking to people. I think that's why I do so well up there at Streetwise.
Oh, yeah.
You know, because I met a lot of good people. Then you just got some people, no matter who you are or what you say or what you do, they just don't like you. You know what I'm saying? So you got people out there like that. So it's just like going to a Chinese restaurant. You got sweet and sour sauce, you know, and you got to know how to deal with both of them. You
That's
know what
right.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
But still maintain your integrity so that you don't get down on their level. You know, that you stay humble. I think the key to winning people over is love and staying humble. Staying humble. See, if you stay humble, then you don't leave room for anger. You know, you eliminate anger.
That's
if you
so
stay,
true.
If you stay humble and lovable,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
That is so true.
So
I think we all need to take a lesson from Streetwise vendors and Dolly about being humble.
And I also read in this magazine, Streetwise, where Dolly Parton had a great relationship with the Staple Singers,
That's right.
a black gospel family group from Chicago's South Side. And I have a little experience with, I never met the Staple Singers, but they had a club back in the 70s, a nightclub. I used to go to it called the Perv's House. The Perv's House. That was the name of the club. It was right on 79th and Drexel on the south side, right off Cottage Grove, about less than 15 blocks where I live at right now.
Wow.
It was a very famous club ran by the Staples Singers. That was their club.
Wow, like the whole family?
Yeah, the whole family owned that club, you know. So it was a very elegant club, but it was a dance club, a nightclub, and they used to have a lot of great things come out of that place.
Were you old enough to go?
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
you went?
Yeah, well, I was old enough to go. This was back in the 70s. I'm telling my age, you know. I guess you're looking at me like a dinosaur now, you know, but...
Well, that's not true. I knew that.
That's okay.
I knew that, the Staples were big in the 50s and 60s,
Yeah.
right? Wasn't I'll Take You There in the early 60s?
That was like in the 70s.
Oh, it was?
That was, well, the late,
shoot.
I would say probably about the late 60s or the early 70s. I believe it was the early 70s. I'll Take You There.
Oh, wow. I thought that it was much earlier than
they
that.
did the soundtrack for that movie, Let's Do It Again, with Bill Cosby and Sidney Poitier and all them. They did their soundtracks. You know.
Really?
I got those movies at home. Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, with the Staple Singers with their soundtrack on the movie.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Very cool.
So Dolly Parton and I, we have a whole lot in common.
You do.
We
You
have a
really
lot
do.
in common.
It's very true.
With our gifts, you know, and you just gotta identify what your gifts
So
are.
when are you going to sing with Mavis? Mavis Staples.
Well, I don't know if Mavis is still living.
Oh yeah, Mavis.
Okay,
She just had a
but
brand new
somebody
album. I
recently-
listened to it yesterday.
Okay, somebody recently just passed. I think one of the Staple Singers. I'm not
Really?
sure who it was, but I'll probably. I mean, I can't pinpoint when if we might meet and sing, but I'm sure if I keep going the way I'm going, she'll hear about the Brighter Stars of Harmony. That's the name of my group.
Oh my God, that'd be awesome.
So our first 1 year anniversary will be in August. So
Well, it's your anniversary of that group, but you've been doing this for longer, right?
yeah, I've been doing this for a long time. I've been with several other gospel groups, but may have stayed with them for 2 or 3 years, and you know we split up, we broke up. But I think the group that God has blessed me with now, I think we're gonna be around for a lot of more decades.
Oh, awesome. What do you get out of performing live and like?
Well, what I get out of it, I get enjoyment. I get a good feeling because of I'm doing the work of God. I'm doing God's work. I'm drawing people to Him. I'm not looking for the glory for my group, myself. We give God all the glory in everything that we do. See, Dave, we show up and He show out.
Oh,
We show up and let Him show out. And the Bible say, if you lift up the name Jesus to people, you draw all men. When they say men, they include women too. So God is not he's not a person that just want to draw men, but you have to read between the lines when he say draw all men. That means all human beings.
Sure.
To him.
Do you guys write original material?
Well, I
Or is
wrote
it
a couple of
standards?
songs. Matter of fact, we working on one of them now. One of the songs I wrote back in '89. What I did was I took a Temptation song, Just My Imagination, and I rearranged the words back in 1988, '89 to Just God's Salvation.
Oh, so it's kind of like a Sister Act type of
So we
remake.
We done that song a lot of times at a lot of different churches.
Yeah.
And
Does it go over well?
yes,
Good.
I got a friend named Pastor Lucius Farmer. He's grown up with me ever since we were little kids, and whenever I visit that church, they never let me get out of that church without singing that song.
Really?
Yeah, so then I wrote a couple other songs, but I have to get more creative with it so I can do my own original stuff. You know, I don't know yet if I got that gift to do that, but I have a member from the Joint Eye group. I think he's got that gift. He'll be coming aboard with us in July.
Right. Okay. I mean, and you talk about gifts too, but I think all of us are born with like some type of gift, but it doesn't mean that it's just natural all the time. Like, you've got to work. Like, like Dolly, takes vocal lessons. She, she writes hundreds and hundreds of songs, and, only ends up recording a couple of hundred and letting them out into the world. Like, it takes practice. Michael Jordan isn't naturally awesome. He has to practice.
Okay. And see, when you give a gift isn't a gift until someone give it to you. But when God gives you something, He don't want you to just give it to you and you sit on it. He wants you to do something with it, hone it, sharpen it up.
That's right.
You have to sharpen what
it.
You have to sharpen what you have to become a steward. You have to become a steward of what He gave you. When you become a steward, then you become owner. You become the boss over what He gave you. But you just don't sit still and think it's gonna automatically take you where God wanted to take you. You have to do the footwork.
Yep, you got to do the footwork.
You got to do the footwork.
So the only way you'll find out if you're good at writing songs is if you write more.
And see, I'm doing a lot of footwork. I'm what you could call a visionary. I have visions to do certain things, and I foresee myself doing certain things that's in God's will. And when I do that, I pray about it, and God will open up that door and make it happen.
Okay.
And see, people, I'm living my dream. I'm entering into my dream as a singer now, and I've learned you have serial killers out here. You have dream killers. You got to stay away from dream killers because they can tell you, oh, you will never be this or you'll never be that. But you got to know how to stay away from people like that.
And you also got to stay away from serial killers.
Yeah, well, everybody knows you got to stay away from serial killers, but dream killers, they're out there too. So you got to keep them out of your circle. You will never fulfill the purpose and plan God got for your life if you don't. If you can't run around with buzzers, See, our ego run by itself. So buzzers, they run together. So you have to become like an eagle, have an eagle's mentality. Then choose your associates and your friends, but love them from a distance. Though the people that want to bring you down, love them from a distance, and put them in God's hand.
Sure.
Put them in God's hand. That's what Dolly do. Dolly do that. I'm sure she don't run around with these people, that might dislike her or hate her like that. But she know how to separate herself from the negative.
Exactly.
You can't put a negative and positive together and make it work.
It's true. It's a good life lesson for sure.
Yeah.
So it looks like we only have about a minute left. I can't believe how fast that went.
Okay.
But I just wanted to say again, thank you for having me. And I also wanted to let all of our viewers know that if you want to learn more about Streetwise, please feel free to visit our website at www.streetwise.org, or you can even give our offices a call at 773-334-6600. And if you just want to stop by, you certainly can. And we're located at 4554 North Broadway in the Uptown area. and we're in Suite 350. Sorry, I'm stumbling over my words, but you guys have a great day. Thank you for having us.